Good evening and welcome to Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms. This is Raph streaming to you live, high above the keep in the hot air balloon. Tonight I'm doing a little bit of a makeup episode. So we missed a stream the other night and I thought I'd do a check-in on the LP pools. That's something that I've been investing in lately. As you guys know, Crypto Grady got us into this, and so I thought, you know what the heck, I might as well share some of my experiences so far with the LP pools. I'm up in a few, down in a few, and all in all, I'm only a few days into doing this, and so I think time will tell in the future. I think they're going to be strong long-term plays, and of course all of this is reckless speculation. None of this is financial advice, but I do think that if you pick items that have either high value or high transaction rates, I think that's what I'm going to be targeting in the future for LP pools. So what I've been into is I've done green eggs, I've done moksha runes, I've done the trust stones, and I of course have done the mite stones as well. And so here's a little bit of a rundown. I've been keeping track of each of these. The moksha runes, I haven't done a lot. I had a little over 5% of the pool. That's gone down over time. And I think this is from what I'm finding, is that if your value of the pool is decreasing by a percentage and not a lot of time has passed, my understanding is it's likely that the value of those items have also gone down, and therefore it's been a little bit of a losing proposition. So my total in value here at the check-in here, actually this is today's date. So the most recent check-in on this, and I have 58 Joule right now of Joule that I put in, based on actually what I placed in on 820. And currently I'm estimating the value, if I sold everything off right now, to be 52 Joule. So I'm down 6 Joule, but again, I have a very small percentage of that pool. So then going to green eggs next. This was the next one that was a bit of a loser for me. Right now I'm calculating that I've put in 428 Joule, and I am down to about 400 Joule in value. So I've lost about 30 Joule total. But if you look at it, I put 10 eggs in. I lost one right away because I didn't have them flipped. You want your less fractional item on the numerator of the equation when you're submitting to the pool, not on the denominator. You want your fractional item as the denominator, which would be joules. So I did not do that initially. Lost an egg right off the bat. Threw in another egg, and a little more joule. And so this is where I'm at. Lost about 30 Joule total. Looking at the trust stones, these have done really well for me. So I placed 2 in. I did have them flipped incorrectly. Bought and placed another one in, and so I've invested quite a bit. I've invested 436 Joule total, and I believe right now, based on the current state, that I have about 455 Joules of total value. I think some of that might have been due to the recent summoning craze, but I also believe that this is a high value item, and so I expect this to continue to return in the future. And I do have a strong position here in the pool after buying another one at 17.5% instead of the 12.5% where it was when I first got into it. So that's the trust stones. And of course, if you were on the stream the other night, lesser mite stones right now I've had a lot of success with. Now, I would say in part that's due to a bit of the arbitrage opportunity that I believe existed naturally when the stone carver comes and goes, and this coincided really well with the market event of summoning for the DFK birthday party, and the incentives for summoning over on Crystal Vale. And so I entered into this with around 201, which would be 400 Joule. So my total in, I bought for, my guess is, after everything that I put in, my guess is that I was around, and actually, that's not right. I was only in for this number right here. So I went in for 400 joule total. I sold for 511 joule, and I kept 3 stones left over. And my estimation of that, I'm putting them at current market value, which is 10 joule. The ones that I sold off a few days ago when they were at their height, I sold them for around 22 joule a piece. Well, here, instead of playing the math, no, 20 joule a piece. Clearly, Raph's not that good at doing math tonight. And I ended up hanging on to 3 of those, and so I estimate that I made about 140 joule total. And so this has certainly been the most profitable. And I think a lot of that has to do with the arbitrage opportunity of just people wanting to buy a whole bunch of lesser mite stones, send them over, bridge them over to Crystal Veil, and use that increased summoning chance. So, I haven't looked at what the hero numbers are, but I'm guessing there was a boost in summoning over the last couple days. And so I have now rebought into this pool. I sold everything off, made my jewel, and now today, now that the stone carver is back, I'm back in the pool. I crafted a lot of stones for 11 joule a piece. Is my approximate crafting value when you factor in all the gold purchases, all the rock root purchases, all the potions, the toughness potions, health potions, and so that comes out to be about 11 joule per stampot right now for the lesser mite stones. Excuse me, not stampots. 11 joules for each of the lesser mite stones, and the equivalent pair was then 340 joules. So I bought in for a grand total of 681 joules, and about a minute after I put that in, I calculated my current value to be around 680 joules. So not surprising that the market values would go down slightly, especially since I'm 21% of the market. So I'll be watching this closely over the next couple of weeks. I actually think that there is, right now, I think there's a fair amount of movement, frequency of movement of sales with these. And so I'm really hoping that this is going to be a bit of the best of both worlds. That I hold them in here for a couple weeks, make sure I'm gaining that transaction value. And when I see a spike in cost, that's when I'm going to sell off. And I'm not expecting to make, 140 joule every time that I turn these, but I'm hoping to make, a good 50 or 60 joule, and that just adds to being a degen in DeFi Kingdom. So hopefully this makes sense. This is my sheet that I've been using to track this information. Go ahead and let me know if you have any questions on the matter. We did have a few comments on the last short video that I did, so I'm going to go ahead and, hey, JHW3D, how you doing? I am live. I'm going to go ahead and announce who the winner is of a Lesser Fortune Crystal based on the comments to the last video. So I'm going to bring that up. We have a few people live with us right now. Go ahead and drop some comments. What do you want to know about when it comes to stones, crystals, or anything in the LP pools? So drop your questions as I bring up this video.
7-year-old unexpected.
Oops. All right. Here we go. All right. So Zelf Ernide, you let me know that you're in Thistle and Jewel and Milkweed and Jewel. So go ahead and in your reply, and I'll comment here as well. Send me your Discord name, your Discord handle. I will message you, get your OX, and then I will send you a Lesser Fortune Crystal. So thanks for commenting on the video, much appreciated. All right, major. I'm glad you like the data. I thought it would be good to keep track of this. I kind of gone through a few different systems. I was keeping it in a Word document. That didn't make any sense. Decided to throw it into a Google Sheets or Excel, and that's been a lot more beneficial. So hopefully this helps. Just here trying to track the information. I think we're all trying to figure out how can we maximize this game. I think there's still a big opportunity. I'm guessing a lot of it has to do with the items that move on a frequent basis, or the items that move and are really expensive. So again, those kind of my tips. That's where I'm focusing my efforts right now. I'm going to probably get out of the Moksha rune pool, or at least leave that alone for a while. I think that could be valuable. I just don't think I have critical mass there in order for it to make sense. So I'm going to stay. I thought about getting into the Shavas rune, but that is I mean, you got to be a big player to jump in there. I think I had up to like 150 runes before I did all of my crafting for the lesser might stones, and that would only make like a 3 or 4% splash in the pool, and I was like, whoa, I'm definitely not doing that. So I'm trying to avoid some of those pools where you're just going to be a super small fish in the pond. Doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to me. All right, well, I'll consider this kind of last call for any questions that you might have tonight. Drop them into the YouTube chat if you're interested. Otherwise, throw them into Discord if you're catching this after the fact. Neindorf and I will be on tomorrow night. Today is August 24th. It's a Wednesday. Tomorrow's August 25th, and they're doing the Clayton AMA. I believe it's at 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow afternoon, and we're planning on doing a Reacts video tomorrow night. So come definitely join us there. All right, Major. Can you talk about what stat is best when considering what strategy is best when considering a pool? Like I said a little bit before, I'm going after either expensive items. In this case, stones. The regular stones are pretty expensive. There are no major stones right now. You have your lesser stones for summoning and your major stone. And your regular stones for summoning. So regular stones, I think, have a lot of high value to them. And so if you had any, or if you've been fortunate enough to win some with raffle tickets, I think those are a really good opportunity. Or if you could find some on the on the secondary market, be careful buying there. But I think that's a good strategy. Otherwise, items that are going to have, if you can get critical mass in a pool on an item that goes frequently. So like, I know a lot of people are in pools for gold. A lot of people are in pools for the items that are involved in stamina potions. I think stamina potions are always going to be moving inside the game. So you get your shimmer skins, you get your swift thistles. Those are really popular ones. It could be challenging to gain critical mass on those pools because they are so large. But that's something that, gold eggs. Will gold eggs be swappable on CV, says Blackwing. I don't know. Is your question... I actually don't have a lot of gold eggs, so I'm not quite sure I'm following. Can you not trade gold eggs or send those items like not showing up in game over there in Crystal Vale right now? I know Neindorf was telling me a little bit about this. He bridged some items over. It may have even been Stampots. And I think he was saying that they weren't listed, and so you had to kind of like manually finagle them, and you couldn't get them into the LPs. I think it requires the DFK teams to initially set up the LPs. Actually, one of the LPs that I was thinking about getting into was Greater Crystals for leveling up. Again, that really fits my mantra of high cost per item. And those LPs are not set up over in Serendale. So that's just not available. I think you are reliant on the team to establish those LPs initially. Major says, I sit better if I have most of the pool shares. Yeah, I think that's probably the case. You'll get a higher percentage of the transaction costs. Worm369, what's your threshold for critical mass? Great question. So far, it feels like, if I go over to my charts, the eggs, I would say they're probably not there. I was at 6.5%, and I'm now down at 4.5%. I may have accidentally, between Crypto Grady and I, gotten people excited about putting their eggs here. So I may accidentally sabotage my own pool. The one thing that I will say is, if you're going to sit on an item for a long time and you don't have any other use for it, you also have to pony up the jewel that goes with it, which can be kind of the expensive part. That jewel that I have in there right now, when I initially put it in, it was 200 jewel. Could I do something else with that will return better on my money? Perhaps, but those green eggs, they're otherwise doing nothing in my inventory, so I'm okay with it being a long play. But clearly, to answer your question, Worm, 6%, that's not enough. 4.5% is definitely not enough. And on the lesser mite crystals, we'll see if, lesser mite stones, we'll see if I end up doing better off with a increased share percentage. So the first time that I did this, I was at 14%. And this time I'm at 21% with 31 of these. So, maybe that's 150 that are out on the market total. So I think probably 20% is what I would guess is critical mass in my mind. But I don't quite have enough information to really answer that entirely. Blackwing says, I want to sell jewel for gold eggs in the trader at CV. Got it. Yeah, I don't think that's there yet. Yes, you're right. The dev team does have to make those contracts. So we're waiting on those, unfortunately. But it is exciting to just get the items over there. It feels like that was certainly rushed in since they announced the birthday party summoning event without the knowledge of potentially stones being able to be used and getting the item bridge up and going. That was pretty exciting. So I'm glad they rushed it out, even if it meant, they're kind of picking up the pieces of, not having all the contracts in place or the LPs established. All right, well, those are some great questions. Again, tomorrow night we're going to be on for a reaction episode, as I'm sure a lot of people are. So hopefully come join us. Look forward to seeing you. Really excited about the Clayton project and hope we find out a lot more information. Some secret alpha right before I go. I actually am in contact with a couple of members from Wisdom Labs, and so Wisdom Gaming / Wisdom Labs. So I'm hoping that we can do a super secret, well, not secret, but super special interview here in a couple days. So I'll keep you posted on that. And have a good night. This is Raph out.